This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe sketchbook series, Spikor, the untouchable master of evil combat, inspired by the original concept art. And this guy looks nothing like the Spikor we got, pretty much. All right, there are some things that are obviously Spikor, but you know what I mean here. So on the front, we do see a bunch of different designs, kind of on the top here, we do see sketchbooks of both what was the final version that we got and this other one. And for some reason, they've got images of the slime pit too. On the side, we get a nice color version of our new Spikor. On the other side, we get a headshot of the one we got originally. And on the back, because this is from Target and the people who ship from Target don't give a crap about collectible items, they folded over the thing, so there's a nice fold line going across the artwork here, and that kind of pisses me off. But we do see in the background a different version of Castle Grayskull and what was Beastman, or became Beastman, and Man-at-Arms, who looks like he's wearing a furry backpack of some sort. I'm not sure what the deal with the furry backpack is, but whatever. So inspired by the... And then we have, of course, Spikor fighting against the original version of He-Man, or something inspired by the original version of He-Man, because we've already seen what that looks like, and that's not really what it looks like. Although that character has been renamed as Vikor, but also Viron, I believe, is what the other one is called. So we've had a couple of figures created out of that concept already. But let's go ahead and open the sucker up, shall we? Oh, shit. Well, I guess I just f***ed up the box too, huh? So before we look at the accessories, let's go ahead and take a quick look at the artwork here. Here's kind of a more uncut version of the artwork that we saw earlier. Lots of pictures of him in his current form, with a couple of the vintage toy version. And I guess that might be a vintage version. Oh, yeah, that's the Manny Faces that's supposed to be coming out soon. And then some boy who I have no idea who he's supposed to be. Okay, so Spikor comes with a butthole. I was actually expecting this to be the same ass that they used for Leatherhead in the Ninja Turtles line, but apparently they decided to just put a hole in his ass. So we got the spiked tail here with a peg, so you can peg his ass. Like so. And then we don't really need a stand for him because he can hold himself up. He comes with a unique club mace here. Club mace, whatever you want to call it in this case. It's definitely different than the previous versions that have been released of it. And we have right here the same hand that came with our toy version, only it's got a clear red part here and, matte gray, which actually puts it kind of almost in the opposite colors of the one. He's got unique hands here where it's got like the same kind of spike here instead of the little semicircle or semi-orb, semi-sphere on his wrists, so it's unique. His head sculpt is definitely really unique, and it looks like we got some paint mess over here. He's got more of a pig nose, big ears, and he's got earrings too. That's how you know he was a bad guy in the 80s, is because he wore earrings. He does have a somewhat similar design to our known Spikor with that, but otherwise, this is a new piece because it's definitely more of a porcupine than... Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, this version is more porcupine, whereupon the vintage version is actually more like a pufferfish or of some sort. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of makes me think of the difference. That being said, his articulation, he's got a ball joint for the head, so it goes up and down and spins around. We can raise the arm up and down. We can spin it around. The spikes are all a soft rubbery plastic, by the way, including that on the tail. We can hinge the arm out. He's got a single joint in the elbow, does not quite make a 90-degree bend. fist spins, and the hand has in and out articulation, and that's the same on both sides. He can spin at the waist. Since you've already pegged him, you can spin the tail around. It actually does not come out very, very easily either. So that's actually surprising, because I thought for sure it would just slide right out. He can kick up about that far, and he can kick back about that far. The tail definitely gets in the way too. And of course, we can kick out about that far. I think he might actually have a better kick than some of the early Origins figures did, to be honest. Since the knee is on a single joint, it can bend less than 90. And can open up and spin a little bit because that is pegged in place. Boot cut spins. We got the hinge here. Nice big old hinge. And it can spin. We can go ahead and... What is with the hands lately, man? Shaking the whole table. We can put his little spike trident in his place. And we can put the weapon in his hand. All pegging jokes aside, you can definitely see the difference between the versions of this figure. Between the cartoon collection, the vintage inspired one, and of course the sketchbook inspired one. And it's interesting just how wildly different the colors are actually on all three of these. But it is kind of weird to think about how they got to this sketchbook version to the original toy version that we ended up getting, you know? Because it is so wildly different in a lot of the manner. Of course, we know why the cartoon collection version looks the way it does. It's because Filmation probably didn't want to draw so many spikes on him and gave him a more normal nose. But the sketchbook version actually does look pretty cool. I have not actually seen this in the stores yet. This just shipped out not too long ago, and I think he looks pretty cool. I would definitely consider him to be just another creature in the same species as Spikor is, but I wouldn't call him Spikor. But man, just add him to your collection as a whole different character and it works out just fine. Like I said, he does look pretty cool though. I definitely think that if there's a fight between the vintage Spikor and this guy, I think this guy's gonna win. But overall, I've generally really liked the cartoon collection figures for the most part. I think it's a unique way and a unique take on the Masters of the Universe vintage ones, and hopefully they keep it up. I know we're supposed to get a vintage inspired Manny Faces up soon, and I believe they're also giving us the He-Man as well. I definitely want to see what a sketchbook inspired Teela will look like though, and how wildly different from her original toy will that be? Especially since I don't think that the Masterverse vintage version of Teela is going to look all that much different from the Masterverse Teela from New Eternia, which is going to be a huge disappointment when that comes out, I'm sure. Why don't you guys let me know what you think in the comments below about this sketchbook version of Spikor. Do you like him? Do you hate him? Are you indifferent? Are you not going to waste your money on it? Are you going to wait to see if he goes on clearance like every other sketchbook figure set has done so far? But if you did enjoy watching this review, please feel free to like that smash button. And if you want to watch more of my nonsense in the future, please feel free to subscribe. I thank you for watching. Peace and love.